Therefore, Makwaba at the POG political hiring. So, see, just say, not a updating so and abo at the rap a political platform. So, I was actually say the POG abeja for and so every bo at the rap sign and same no so no matter the episode our mind Ghana now. And in the accounts was an able a Rasans message some subscribing to a POG political hiring and in the accounts for a subscription or hitting notification bell. So they want to submit my daily updates on that was share. Now and in semi year bo a day a year appointments are you John Dramani Mahama Ogusua also or year or appointed a ministers via almost a bebo or measure no my boy on our team around Ghana A.F0rs0n not to say or my Ghana so it's me a fan to my part area now. We na N0t appointment or year on also a year App0rs0n as the financial minister no a year marking Afeny0 and a minority team almost one maximum also a day a year. Some critics be A.F0rs0n John Dramani Mahama say Addo on also a team two and Safra year App0rs0n say Ombra now on also embe handle my Ghana Sika Sem so now. John Dramani Mahama Edin Sembi Atuja A.F0rs0n measure say Bejebe Nayabo Edira Sansing Medasi.
You need advice of the Attorney General. So in a quick way, to be able to set up these 3 ministries in the first place, he's being strategic. Because energy, you know the crisis, Akuffo Addo, the looming doom then the energy sector crisis, and as for any financial turnaround to be or come from the finance ministry, then you need the advice of the AG when it comes to some of the critical decisions that the president will be making and as for and the individuals he appointed. Personally, I am not somebody I celebrate credentials, need those kind of stuff until say nipa na juma obeye. But over the years, I can tell you, say one person why at the forefront. What leading economic discussion in this country has to do with App0rs0n. And on Inchiremu, Nekasa, Nema, demonstrated clearly said this is somebody or Tenema say when it comes to the economy, and as for. But you see, Kasa is different from delivering. And if I'm to look at his public weighing in somehow his understanding into issues of finance, it got to a point in time. He was the first person to predict, say, Akuffo Addo, people will suffer head cut. Our President Akuffo Addo said no head cut. The analysis that he did, at the end of the day, that head cut came. And he has delved deeper into this economic crisis, for solution, and as forth. So I think, if you look at the surface of it, he's an ideal candidate to be able to. But you see, being an ideal candidate and be the man being able to do the job when you're given the mandate, they are two distant things altogether. Let us not get it twisted. But I only hope, and I know, say, he will be able to deliver. But much of it will come from him because he's going to the ministry. We know the messy state Ghana economy womb. I think, say, vetting committee, he prefers some solutions and a certain alternative all free sale employer, especially when it comes to city stabilization, how energy sector, prices of crude in as for no be able to be a fashion and certain backing because it will control the dollar fluctuations now. Trust me, there are a lot of stability to achieve at the economic front. And I think he's one person you can count on when it comes to some of these things. Abu is one person also at the energy sector, same as App0rs0n, Walidi. And the two of them have been deputy ministers in their respective ministry before. Abu Jinapo at some point in time when Kwabena Donko resigned because of the promise that he made, or say went to be undelivered. He became a substantive minister at some point in time. So, and in the last 8 years, somebody at the ministry, also demonstrated certain weight, knowledge, and as if very extensive. I'm free, say, and then convincing President Mahama to give him this particular job. And on the surface of it, I hope say he can also deliver. One appointment, and I'm so much impressed, the Attorney General. Dr. Anyi, because if Amamfon Shadam pay attention to him, he's not a loud person. He's not unusual, your friend is saying partisan, your friend is saying driven person. or your beer or the fraud now or no onim the oye and on your beer ubehunu usual political mantra and as a form odi actually. So to have such person an attorney general no clearly say or my advice now we are president now taking it serious. It will take you far because his views are not often influenced by this partisan stance and as a form. And he's not somebody you can drive him to do witch hunting. For him to take a case or prosecute, now we need the merits and the other side of it. So, or take a case now, say, over the years, Eddie has to do with attorney generals who become, your friend is saying, some more or less like Goro boys of the president. They are working to satisfy these larger political aspirations of political parties. Oh, more such sentiments will come. But you need somebody at our clarity of conviction on him and will take issues. Now he's looking at merit, not just the political aspect of it. Because political aspect of it, so over here, Abranti or call now they are. Cases not fire, no do not drop here, especially or they are to forcing cases because the motive now you're politically your friends say intensive, and such cases you will crash because the evidential value are a bit more credence to go ahead with some of this prosecution. You get to the middle of it and you realize that you don't have it, but you took the case because of certain political sentiment being expressed out there and as a forum. So I think with Dr. Ayi, with that clarity of thought and with the in-depth legal knowledge at the law school, and I think there are a lot of people watching from one day. He understands some of these things. On the side knowledge, back to this department, I'm sure Ghana will benefit immensely and several other appointments. So, Dr. Ryan, the good thing is that so far individuals in now do musiwa. Obesia, ubenyo biya credentials are betima tauteno. But these things are different from delivering on the job. But as to whether they will deliver or not, as Ghanaians are for their arms are we are yet to see. Consider the cultural expectations are quite high. And these individuals cannot afford to fail the president. Same way the president cannot afford to fail Ghanaians. So, a sworn duty on you as an appointee, as a minister, to do things right and just. Sebaya obey satisfy the why a president appointee no so be in return be satisfy Ghanaians. So I think there is a big task going forward that if they realize this and they don't drop in the way, very often people get filled with arrogance of power and then as a foreign they get lost in the middle of power and then as a foreign man. I think we can go. Yes, so for appointment, the president has been given mandate to appoint people. As to whether you disagree or not, he has the power. But you see, at this early stage, preempting might sound a bit weird because he's appointing them. Nobody has taken charge. And I think in a month or two, or maybe after 6 months, or maybe 1 year into the conduct these people exhibit at the various offices, I think they're in the better as to whether they qualify, they can do, or they cannot. And I think at that point, also give the president the reason either to do reshuffle and as a forum. At this point, a make or break. You have more appointments, now you can go to church, celebrate, palm white, aqua DNA, that kind of way, But it is also going to be an assessment phase for you. The early stage, you can be dropped. And so what drop at the early stage, you can know, your political career and So I hope, these people will be able to discharge this responsibility that has been conferred on them, imposed on them by the president, and has been conferred, your friend saying constitution also given that particular power to do so. Or me, I know Mungu na Ghana and never win at the end of the day.
Yo, na mame embusao. What can say we yatete say PP for the nam say President Mahama person set up A.F0ri adding out nakoto Ministry of Education. I don't know. Say no a set up. I don't know. And our Ministry of Education maybe your manga sa no man to your may into no de kasa.
So that is the question as Obisa say na po almost set na up and answer almost set a dupim up. I don't know idea what education ministry are set up. You see, Haruna Idris is somebody who has been around for a very long time. And this is a guy who had a severe or depth when it comes to knowledge. And then I say for them. And the mere fact that Uncle Education Ministry panel doesn't mean say own to me yet. And I wonder why you may do arguments and doubts as to whether he can perform well or not. That's why I know we all have the right to do so. But to say he has been sacked up, then that you need to justify why he has been sacked up. Is it because he ought to mean deliver our education and answer saying the knowledge that is needed at the education ministry? What is that knowledge? He doesn't have it. I think that it's early, but I think it's the usual politics. I know Akroma, young farmer, people are wishing you fail. And I think some of these political detractors, MPP, are losing badly at the polls. And they have become barely irrelevant in the scheme of political affairs in this country. The only way is to be passing some of these comments. So I think that is part of the usual politics that we do in this country. But it's not premised on any fact. They have nothing to justify. And I know, sir, when it comes to competence, Haruna Idris is somebody you can count on when it comes to some of this, because position ben when you need be paying. Position ben. This is a guy who has seen it all. And the ministry, in a education there, but there are the core job out there, are almost similar. And I think going in there at the minister, doesn't mean everything at the ministry, quiet. There are civil servants at the place. And if it's a we need knowledge about the area, you can do consultation, engage them, because it's a teamwork. Governance, Dr. Ren, is a public enterprise. I'll bet to me a seeking wise counsel of people out there, and then I say for them. I think there is no basis for this one. Just usual political talks na yakano. Say obi wo basis to justify why they think it's a setup. I think they should bring it up. But you see, Adeba Akwa Yahoo Akroma over the years and has to do with people are seeking to create a artificial rift between Haruna and then Mahama. And so we have quite on fast almost Haruna na. You saw what the agitation that came. Emma, some people even in the northern region, STG, some kind of saying demonstration, new protest, and as a forum. We are political opponent. Some of these things, you just want to harp on it just for political expediency. And I think the MPP as a smart political party, that is the kind of cast they are playing. But you see, like I told you, we've jumped over this stage in our politics. Your politics, as to me a different friends.
So subscribe here and the account so I'm sure drop your subscription. As all like you to media so be like in our share no for so inside to me account no so at the airport oh my Ghana amanya sim na ensem ya to say yeti kamia yes Of0ri no the right person for the job I say on so e ba no say yenhwe ne handle yes kasema on so best I say na or to us crowd no compare yura Of0ri town so betina so be due my Ghana sika yura N0t down kwa so epamo na Of0ri from and be handle sa position measure say beto aso na ya to us near in sema and also it is what ba no be
stage altogether. We are in a different pedestal, and I'm sure Ghana will not pay much attention to some of these usual trivialities that over the years dominate politics and politicking in this country. We are moving on. We just want Haruna ba now one performing. The president reserved the right to pull him out or maybe reshuffle and do anything. So I'm not sure it's a big deal. It's early to say this person will perform or will not perform. Appointment in a view of her personally no you may wait so this person will call Hank say, but I know the president has that mandate. You understand? The only reservation you can have when you say you watch on and see what happens, whether these people can deliver or not. then at the end of the day, that right to do reshuffle and as for no, we'll come to that stage and we are here. Yeah, Dr. Ren, we're going to do what we do best. Yes, because my culture said it is our job to protect this country. We just to ensure, say, we offer constructive, fair, firm, your friend is saying, criticisms, contributions, and whatever, just to ensure, say, we're shaping this country. And yes, sir. Yes, power corrupts and absolute power corrupt absolutely. We all cannot go to sleep and watch people to do. We are going to be at the doorsteps of these people on a daily basis, just trying to ensure, say, they stick to your friends saying, a humanist or more, they are in line. Say, who breaking rules now, you know what it is. And I'm not sure, say, any of them will be, your friends say, will be happy. Say, early stage way, near nipa betwe aboso ko Dr. Ren saatete politics na madam funie menua nie me party nie wo din semhunu na amanfo ababoso abegina radio so defend no saira na twam obi nkodi ni semhunu mo obi metan radio so defend it. That era is long gone. We yes akra people will not take you serious. So I wish say the two Akuffo Addo na appointees the new ministers, new government amanfo besua bibia frim say the two Akuffo Addo na nyesa Ghana for na tan no Akuffo Addo meti wa meje meyere wa meje mempana ya fa ne say chese me onye me bone mentan no but enwuma obeye ya wanye ne yie e na kofa we nyina de baaye enti won so no a lesson to you ya so ko obi ayi ase na ya deda no da ho na okasa no ho na ontumi nkasa. It's a lesson to the living say on say emre bi beba won so say ya na beto enti wo anamon bi so tutu ne yie so tutu ne yie. And I think that what happened to Akuffo Addo no, it's a big lesson to those coming. Say be free because yeah Ghana for na yeti high ni baby ako Akuffo Addo bedi 8 years say okofie na yeti high obedi Wàrns bedi 19 years o hwehwa na wuhu no akonwa no wuntumi mfa nko wo ya dan you live, but there is something that you can leave obiantimi papa. That is a lasting legacy, a legacy that will leave an indelible imprint on the minds of Ghanaians, not one that will leave a scar on the conscience of our democracy, just like Akuffo Addo did. What he did, I leave a scar. And Akroma, I leave a golden, your friends say, emblem on the conscience of our democracy. Is the reason why, and generations upon generation, you cannot say, and we are president and now we are minister, and man that particular to me now. It is an opportunity for you to display that particular genuineness. Now we need to be now so fanji within, and I think it's not a big deal. It's not just about money all the time.
Ebusia Oguzwa wuti Rainbow Radio 92.4 FM. Yene yenua Ivan0rt, a social commentator. Ni twetwen o my Ghana ho enkomo yedi. Ivan, ma membusa wo we de menim say you follow American politics a lot. Nrana inauguration ne koso. President no inauguration mu no ano now since a friend is saying executive orders ebo modern say enumebu owa ebe modern efri na ekwe obetwetwem ebe identify how as to how United States of America the governance now form ebe follow. Would you say it's about time yem paying for no so etimi ye bold and start having these particular leadership style, signing executive instrument LI into other in some of friend is Merano. And I'm asking this because of the constitutional review man Penini John Mahama say review no was setting up a team or mobile constitutional review. Would you say it's about time Ibenya president to be honest because Maba me a president of the republic, I'm signing into effect say a free nekwi member ministers and MPs and to kwan enkwama no nkwankosan ho yare obesan ho yare make sure say obesan ho yare Ghana na yemfa the taxpayers money emfa enyeden enkonkwonkwohwew ebiem. Do you think say sana mo no ebeboaye and now you think that we should still leave it? Because I'm saying it because we had an MP and also a minister. And to be precise, Dokua the deputy minister for trade, our sabe minister for information. Now on him, Sans no MP, Equiapim, I think N0t or so. I stand to be corrected. When you at that time, taxpayers' money or the two coin, equa woye, and they try my baby or so bar and guarantee us a citizenship. Do you think, say, as a president, we can also start, emulating such styles? Now, a constitutional review.
Yeah, Dr. Ran, who is that? Yeah, in American, yes, I said that executive, your friend saying, kind of president. We are president, where certain enormous, your friend saying, powers are. You can do a lot of stuff. Trump Obama, this is a person who has been there before. So that clarity of thought, the foreign policy options, then I say for the options are clearly way through, and he knows what has to be done and what has not to be done. And the Oba, there is no ambiguity. You don't need to wait for anything because Anyawaba office in Obajana home. Wajina home that away all the options and then I say for and he knows he has the power to do some of these things. Because some of the executive orders now are making are temporal. Later you need your friends say Congress and Senate to rectify some of them. But say executive orders now and directed these your friends say institutions because and now call all the House too a Republican dominated. So the president is signing executive order. He knows at the long while he will get these your friends institutions to approve, and that tells you we are president a winning the warrior. The vision and as for now would be free about him by our day at the warrior no. I don't know will carry on. And we you bet me the same thing I say. And you have crowned there apart from this constitutional way, president also our same executive powers to do exercise a lot of some of these provisional powers. Say president by your first executive instrument no issue or collapse all the ministries or create a new one. That is an executive way.
And you just say you can't say we don't even need say you parliament no obedi bill to na yebeko parliament na obi di asema kwa akoto na baba dane bill ni na akoto president nim say be ma da oba no obeda no one sign my which means the president can use his executive instrument to clearly define as at the way Donald Trump defining is we have only two genders, a male and a female. Can it also be said President John Mahama so betimi use executive instrument and say if we na koi say we Ghana ni na ye hunu say oni be ma da etiamra enti free na koi ma sign ma jatum say any person go against the norms and the cultures of the state and other country sa emrano any nindi. Can we also go on that line?
So I think that you can't executive emergency powers no more exercise now and not forever. They are provisional powers you exercise, and later you get the appropriate institutions to rectify them and make sure that the right law will come in place. Because the president can say, why issue executive orders or the question is, so there must be a law. What are some American say?
Yeah.
So some of the executive powers are just temporary exercise, but when it comes to some of these things, you need a law about regulating that. Because US Trump a giveaway. No, don't forget there is a ruling our US Supreme Court on this LGBT where some of the states already or more issue red light on some of these things. So in some of the states, there are existing laws a bit seeking to ban, a bit seeking to because America is a federal state, but there is a larger constitutional way out there, US Supreme Court, dealing with the issue of LGBT and some of the presidential powers, who exercise later will need that particular way na mekano embrano. So with the case of the LGBT, there is a private member bill called Parliament. According to sources, there's a number of days now on ISPI, so we need to start the whole process again. And I'm not sure, this time around, it should be private member bill. It should be state-sponsored. Said the President Mahama can, na nkwa so obi abrantie bi na de kata bi aba abeto ye komu na mom Ghana fo na yatena se e de mraba se LGBT no eyensemhunu yempe and ebe na dim and I think that we have the luxury, we have the numbers, and we have everything to do some of these things. And the exercise of executive powers in as for no. And then Sir President Mahama exercise executive powers via na.
And that's it. So Jibre now Penny Edema a POG political highway no say yem brawa so na you make sure political news no any daily updates no from abobon now so let the ekoso e wo my Ghana amanya semu na so subscribe and if you can so message your post subscription now I notification bell no now so share no for so inside to me account and so once and can bia na sadwenche bi so a obetimi so abo era the comment section on our kodi enkomo so ho no na POG man say e ba na yen say ba reply o say the enkomo no so ebetimi I there. And that's all Jibre edema e be